The stream is live.
It's live. Okay. Nothing happened. So let's take a picture and tell everybody we are here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. And if you're catching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. My name is Lauren, and this is
Quenisha. I'm Quenisha. This
Yay.
this is my first time going live. Lauren is a professional at going live. If you've done it twice, you are a professional at it. So
Yeah, I did it once on my page, and then I was a guest on somebody else's page. So, you
okay.
know,
Yeah.
getting our fixings again. Okay, we're gonna take a photo.
Yeah.
Or did you take it already?
I got one of you mid smile, but not full smile. So let's do it again.
Okay, this is going
Okay.
to our
And then
Instagram.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
One, two, three.
Oh, I didn't look at the screen.
I didn't take a picture.
I didn't look at the screen.
I'll let you take it
Okay.
first. We'll look at the screen.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now you do it.
All right.
I can't believe we're putting this in the live.
This is authentic. This is authentic, honey. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So let's do a quick post on our stories.
Yes. And where is everyone? Well, I guess no one's here yet, but
How do you know people are here?
the comments.
I
Maybe.
literally, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So today we're talking about being that girl on your own terms. So let us know what you think about being that girl in the comments right now.
Yeah.
If you are watching the playback of this or if you're here while we post this on our stories. Do you have the link to Lauren?
I don't.
I think you should.
Hmm?
I don't know how to get the link to you.
Me either. We can also edit this out if you want.
Really?
I think so. Possibly. Don't quote me on that. Don't know.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's okay if you can't figure it out.
Okay.
They know where to find us.
They do. All right. So, Lauren, I know that you don't like this, but we're going to start with a little icebreaker.
Wait, wait, wait. Should we tell people who we are?
Yes.
I
Let's
think
do
we
it. Okay.
I think we should tell people who we are. You
All
go
right.
first.
I'll go first. This is my name's Quenisha, and I am a content creator. And a lot of my content's about self development, goal setting, having fun. I'm moving into the fun phase of my life. I feel like I've gotten to a point where I built a really strong foundation, and now it's like, oh, how can I challenge myself? So I post a lot of content about goal setting, dance. Dance is my current obsession. I am always in dance class and trying to improve in dance. I live in Houston, and let's see what else. Yeah, that's me. That's me, and hopefully you stick around for some more.
Yay. Well, my name is Lauren. I am a life coach. I am too a content creator, trying to get up there. And I post about self-care, solo travel, solo adventures. I'm really big on like women prioritizing themselves and doing what they need to just get to that point in life where they're happy. So, um, yeah, I post a lot about my adventures on TikTok, Instagram. I'm on YouTube as well. So we're so happy that you're here and you're watching the video or you're watching the replay.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. All right, so I'm posting right now. I'm almost getting my post ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I posted on Instagram, but you know, we'll see.
Okay, perfect. I definitely didn't tag you. So let me let me ask you this or that questions. And
Okay.
Lauren and I, how do we know each other? We are friends from long ago. Well, I've known Lauren for so long. I know her entire life story slash I don't, and I need to learn her entire life story.
Yeah.
But met in college and we've been friends since then.
Yes.
I've made in my wedding too. Yes.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. So Lauren, you're gonna hate me. Okay, but okay. Let's see. Do you prefer a solo trip or a group trip?
I hope my friends are not in the
Solo trip or group trip?
I have to pick one.
You have to pick one.
Okay, I will say in the season that I'm in right now,
Hmm.
solo trip.
Mm. And if you don't know, Lauren has a lot of solo travel experience. I don't have any solo. I have like travel experience of traveling up to 1 hour by myself. Slash, I've traveled by myself to meet other people, but
Mhm.
I haven't done the full solo. I think I aspire to do a solo trip, but I want to do it to like a resort, like a retreat resort type thing where it's designed for people to be alone. But
Yep.
I
That's
still
a
want
step.
a group trip now.
Yeah, that's a step. I like group trips too, but
Yeah,
you made me pick one. So,
pick one. All right, next, braids or curls
what do you mean curls?
for your hair? You like a braid or you like a curl?
Like natural curls or like
Any curl.
let's say curls.
Curls. Yeah.
Let's say curls, yeah.
I'm the same. I like a nice curl too. Like
Hmm.
I like it more for dance.
Okay.
It's hard to dance with these braids because
Yes.
you do a lot of hair and
Mm,
I'm been slapped in the face by a braid before, but it hurts.
yes, it's
Yeah.
whipping you back and forth. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
Okay, here's my last one for you.
Okay.
Budgeting or treat yourself.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mhm.
Hmm. Ooh, budgeting.
Budgeting.
And the season of life that I'm in. Budgeting.
Budgeting. Okay. Okay.
I go back and forth though. I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. You gotta go back and forth. I think I like to treat myself and then I like to like think, did I have to spend that money? So it's
Yeah.
a little back and forth for
You got to
me
find the balance. You have to find
too.
because we do deserve to treat ourselves to an extent. It
Mhm.
shouldn't be overboard, but we do deserve to treat ourselves. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you for playing this or that with me. I know you were like, you always want to play games, but it helped. It
mhm.
helped.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to get into our top?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So
So, go ahead.
you go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, so we are talking about becoming that girl. So, I don't even know how we came up with this topic, but I feel like a lot of our content um, is similar. We talk about like being a better person, being a better version of yourself, or how you can get to that better version. So
Mhm.
we're like, okay, let's talk about how you can become that girl for your own life, not compared to anyone else's, but what you can actually be doing. So that's how we landed on this topic. And we're going to start with what that girl actually means for both of us. And also like what social media says being that girl is.
Yeah, yeah. So we both talk about being that girl, but I think all of us see on Instagram, TikTok, that girl. She wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's got her smoothie. She does her full workout. She stretches. She makes full breakfast. Some kind of way she makes it to work on time and does a full productive day. She meets her friends after work. She's that girl. And she
Yes.
looks good doing every single part of it.
Hmm.
Um,
The
but
5 a.m. girl.
the 5 a.m. girl. And I used to be the 5 a.m. girl. I had a good time being the 5 a.m. girl for a second, but
Mhm.
I don't know what happened. I hate saying COVID happened, but I do really feel like COVID happened. And I was like, I don't know if I could be that girl anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, but with us trying to be that girl, it does create like a certain pressure. And I sometimes look back at myself and I'm like, why can't I keep doing that? Like, why don't you do that? Sometimes I still get mad at myself for not waking up at 5 a.m. anymore and working out immediately after. But
Mm-hmm.
I was a little burnt. I was feeling a little crispy.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, how was that maintaining? Did you do that straight out of college, or was that a couple years after college? And how did you? Why did you get into it, and how did you maintain it for that long?
I've definitely always been a routine girl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I did it maybe a few years after college. I wasn't really working out after college.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was going to Zumba classes after work. So I
Okay.
was still that girl.
Yeah. You was working out. You was fitting it in somehow.
I
It
was
wasn't
fitting
it
in,
wasn't in the morning,
yeah,
but
I was fitting in some kind of way. But I think I had to get away from like idolizing like what a perfect structure may look like and creating my own structure, which is exactly what we're talking about today, right? Like getting away from fitting this cookie cutter mold versus creating your own mold of what it means to be that girl.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's, and it's hard to try to keep up with something that is based off of what everyone else is doing as well. Like you said, like you see the ideal, quote unquote, the ideal girl, what she's doing, and you're like, some people start to question, like, how can I do that as well? But what works for one person might not work for you. And that's the beauty of being able to create, like you said, your own routine, creating whatever is working for you in that moment.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Lauren. What does being that girl mean to you right now
Hmm.
at this phase in your life?
This phase in my life, because it has evolved, it
Yeah.
has changed, it has looked different. For me, it means creating a life that I actually enjoy and that I actually care about living.
Hmm.
Because I'm not blinded to the fact that there's a lot going on in this world, in this country, so it's easy to get caught up in like the negative. We have to live it every day, but I want to be able to live a life that I actually care about living and that I feel excited about living. So being
Hmm.
that girl for me is creating that for myself, not waiting on anyone else to do it. Not waiting for anyone else to fulfill my happiness, if that makes sense. And just finding that happiness on my own, which is why I do a lot of solo things, because I don't want to wait for other people, to step in and do things with me.
Hmm.
Although I love having the company, sometimes you just have to do things like on your own and realize, like, you're your own best company at times. So uh, that's what, I guess, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
So let me try to rephrase. Let me try to repeat that. So being that girl for you is doing things on your own term,
Yes.
doing things that make you happy.
Yes.
I think those were the two things. Did I
Hmm.
miss one?
Yeah, on my own terms, doing things that make me happy.
Mhm.
Yeah, not getting caught up in like waiting on other people to fulfill that for me.
And I feel like I'm going to say my version of what it means to be that girl. And I think it's important for us to note that being that girl is basically really rooted in your past experiences. So there
Mhm.
could have been a part in your life where you probably did continuously wait on people.
Mhm.
Now that's why you're like, I'm not waiting for anyone. I am going on this trip and
Mhm.
I'm not even going to ask anybody. I
Yeah.
want to do it. It's going to get done.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that actually. How it's based off of past experiences. Just learning from what you don't want for your current life, based off of what you went through in your past experiences. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Um, so when I think about that girl, and I guess this is like the whole premise of my brand. We
Mhm.
I think everyone's heard the term baddie. I've tried to find a new acronym, but I just can't get away from it in a sense. But if for those of you watching don't know what baddie means, it was my original like brand name before I transferred. Is that the right word? Transferred to
Yeah.
heyquinesha, but it's still a framework that I think is still pretty relevant. And it just means balanced, authentic, driven, deserving, iconic, and evolving. And I just think that every single like one of those pillars describes being that girl. Like I do want to be balanced in my life. Like I don't want to have too much fun, not enough fun or
Mhm.
work. I do want to feel authentic to myself
Yeah.
wherever I am. I don't want to feel like I'm ever performing for somebody or on walking on eggshells around people. I do love setting goals. So I do want to continue to be driven and continue doing that. Stepping into like feeling deserving of things as well. So feeling like I do deserve this compliment. I do deserve
Mm.
to treat myself, or I do deserve a day off. Like just feeling like you deserve things. It took me a long time to even feel comfortable saying I deserve something because I don't know. I feel like a lot of us were raised to be like, you don't deserve nothing.
Mm.
Iconic. I just want to be an icon and then evolving, like always reiterating, always looking back, like even like what I we just talked about. I like to look back on the past and think about what that means for the future.
Yeah.
So I really tried to get away from the acronym, but I think
It's
forever.
empowering you.
I'm forever a baddie. I can't. I can't. I can't.
A baddie girl. Like I like the baddie acronym. And I like the deserving. Because like you said, I feel like we grow up feeling like we have to earn it, like
Mm-hmm.
earn that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have to earn it to feel like we deserve something. And that goes for anything, I feel like. So yeah, I like the acronym. I like the baddie acronym.
Yeah. Because
Just embrace it.
let me double click on deserving. Like I've been thinking about this recently. There's no reward in life for who struggled the most. Like at
No.
the end of the life, God's not gonna say, you struggled, you did good. Let's go, girl.
Mhm.
Like no one ever is gonna congratulate you for struggling through things and like withholding pleasure from your life or, not treating yourself. So
Yeah,
why do it?
right.
Don't do it.
And yeah, that's so true. Like, um, I feel like as Black women, we get very, as Black girls and Black women, we are very conditioned to believe that we have to struggle to get good things, to have nice things, to be deserving of things. And
Mhm.
like I said, you're not going to get an award for that. Somebody that figured it out how to do it easy, everybody's going to be like, oh, well, how'd you do that?
Yeah,
Versus, well, I went through this, and that, and then I got it. It's like,
yeah.
well, I don't want to do that. Like, I
I
don't want
think
to
it's
follow
definitely a new thing. I know we getting a little off topic,
Oh yeah.
but it's okay. But I think it's a new thing to do that. Not new actually. I think it's going out of style for lack of
Yes.
better
Yeah.
term.
Hmm.
Because like we had to sell our trauma for a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
think about whenever you like try to write a scholarship essay, like you automatically think, let me think of the saddest story
Yes.
and let me write it down so these
Oh,
people will think I'm deserving of the money.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
deserving of the scholarship.
Mhm. Like I went through all these struggles and
Exactly. So,
oh
I think,
gosh.
yeah, I used to be a college counselor and I was very anti selling your trauma. I was like, I
Yeah.
actually don't want to hear about that. Like,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Tell me something else. Tell me
yeah,
something
yeah. Let's
that's
talk
not
about
true.
the good. Let's talk about the good things, the happy moments. Like we could sprinkle in a little trauma, but all trauma? No,
Mhm.
thank you.
Right. Let me ask you, are you able to see the comments?
You see comments?
Well, it says that I have to connect my account, but I don't know. I don't want to click on it and then like it takes me somewhere else off of the stream, so I'm not gonna click on it.
No, I can see them.
Okay, good.
I
Good.
think. Okay. Do you see this?
I do, but it
Uh,
says it
Like it
says
was an
I have
example.
to connect to join the live chat. So I guess if I wanted to like write comments in it, yeah, but that's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're learning how to use this. We're gonna be so good
We
at
are.
it.
This is our first, you know,
But we're
this
doing great. We're doing great.
is a good conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so did we go over how did we become this version of that girl?
I think so. I
Okay.
feel like we kind of did. For those of you who are joining us, you can tell us in the comments like what does it mean to be that girl to you?
Hmm. Your own version, not like what anyone else says being that girl is. Because I
Hmm.
know there's so much content out there. Um,
Lauren, give me a second.
okay. There's so much content out there that, says like, okay.
Your echo.
There's so much content out there that, says like, okay. Um,
Okay. I had to check our sound.
oh, okay.
Can you hear me? Because I was like,
Hmm.
what if we're talking this whole time and no one hears? But the sound is working.
It is.
Yes.
I still hear me. The echo.
You hear an echo? I've closed it.
Okay. Okay, I don't hear it anymore. Um, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. You were talking about how we became that girl.
Yes, I was
I think
saying there's so much content out there that will tell you how to be that girl, but what if you have to write it down or type it up in your notes, like what comes to mind when you think of being that girl? Like what does that mean to you? So yeah, just put that in the comments when you're watching the replay. If you're watching this back, let us know what you think being that girl is for you personally.
yes.
Okay.
Um, yeah. All right. So you want to move on to how did we become this version of being that girl? Like the three highlights that we came up with? Because Lauren
Yeah.
and I did some pre-planning.
Yeah. We did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do we become this version of that girl? What that version of you looks like? What does that version of that girl look like for you?
Are
Oh,
you
should I?
asking me?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oopsies. Okay. Um, right. I'm like, yeah, tell me. Um, what does that version of being that girl? I really feel like what does it look like on a day-to-day basis? Because I really feel like the baddie framework explains like the qualities that being that girl is to me.
Hmm.
So I want to know like day to day because honestly, it may sound like the 5 a.m. matcha girl.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute, because I definitely I do the similar things day
Yeah,
in, day out,
yeah.
but
Routine's really important to me. And I mean that's not everybody's jam, but
mhm,
routine is so important to me. I need to force myself to kind of break away from my routine
yeah,
at times
hmm,
because it can get a little boring doing the same thing every single day. But I
yeah,
would definitely say like routine and discipline is the at the heart of being that girl for me. I think
mm,
that that's one thing that I really want to focus on. I always say like I want to keep promises to myself. You don't want a man who's going to cheat on you and lie to you. So why cheat and lie to yourself? You
yeah,
know, so being that good person for yourself that you want to see, you know?
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree, especially with the routine. I did a video on this where I talked about like breaking up the routine so it
Mhm.
doesn't get boring. Because we have responsibilities as adults. We work. Some people have kids. Some people take care of like their parents or whatever. Like people have responsibilities, so it's easy to get caught up in the day to day.
Mhm.
But when I think of like that version, yes, keeping my routine and um, but also adding some spice into that
I'm
as well.
thinking that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, adding spice into my routine. So like going to pole fitness classes, going to different dance classes. It's the summertime, so there's a lot that's happening in Boston, which is where I'm at. There's a lot happening outside. So just going to different things and like opening myself up to those new experiences. I think that's my version of being that girl, also like putting myself in different environments and, um, even though I'm tired during the week, because I have all these things to do, just still trying to find time outside of the work, the productivity,
Yeah.
finding time outside of productivity and making sure that I'm still showing up. If I didn't have work, would I still be doing this stuff? So like,
Yeah.
um, I see we have a comment also. I don't know if
Yeah.
you could put it up
Yeah.
from,
Yeah. We have a
yeah,
comment here. So,
yes, yes.
yeah, Van said, being that girl to me is showing up for myself and going out of my comfort zone. So,
Yes.
very similar to what we're saying. I really feel like it's like you build a foundation and then you season it a little bit, you know? So, Van going out of their comfort zone to spice it up a little bit. I said,
Yes.
Lauren, you lost me when you said doing things when you're tired. I don't I don't know how you do it. I
I
heard
don't
you made a TikTok before about that. Like, if you're tired, still go to the event after work. I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know how. There's some days where I'm just like, okay, I know I can't. Like, my body is telling me to rest. But then there's other days where it's like, you really wanted to go, and now you're just tired because it's been a long day, but you really wanted to go, and you probably can't go again. So I think that thinking of it from that frame of mind, that mindset, helps, to get me out the house.
Yeah.
But it can be hard. It can be, but it's like, I guess also if these are events that are happening all of the time, like I can afford to miss it. But if it's like a once in a while type of thing, then I want to go.
Yeah.
Um,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
So let's see. I'm learning how to use this. What is this? Okay, so we're talking about, oh no. Yay, it did. So we're
Wow.
talking about point number one about how to become whatever version of that girl that you want to be. And
Yes.
right now we're talking about the define and prioritize phase. So we start by thinking about what the ideal version of that girl is to us. So we know Lauren and I have pretty similar answers. Someone who has routine, spices it up a little bit though, because you can't keep doing the same thing day in and day out. But I do want to emphasize that that's different for everybody. It could be somebody who enjoys going to work every single day and wants to be a star performer. You do that. If that is being that girl to you, I want you to shoot for the stars. Because again, being that girl is different for everybody. You may want to be a hot air balloon driver. Is that what they call them?
I guess that's actually a pretty cool job.
Yeah. Like you may want to do that. Shoot for the stars. If that's what it means to be that girl, you need to define that for yourself. But it doesn't mean anything for you to define something if you don't prioritize it. So, what will you sacrifice or put boundaries on to pursue whatever it may be? So, I'm tired of Lauren still in my life because we both have some type of dance interest. Like, she
Mhm.
likes pole. I like to go to heels class a lot, but different types of dances and dance classes, and we both sacrifice some things to make sure that that is a part of our life or put boundaries on things. Like there have been times when I said I couldn't go anywhere because I needed to go to dance class, and that's just what it is, you know, for me, because that's a part of my life. That's what I want to do, and that's a part of my definition of being that girl, you know.
It takes priority. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. you, you got to make sacrifices. You have to, because you won't, like you said in the beginning, like, are you going to break this promise to yourself that you like
Mhm.
said that you wanted to do? No. So, sometimes you got to say no to some other things to be able to do what you actually want to do. Um, I'm trying to think like, I don't really, I don't know. Cause I was gonna say like, yeah, I do pole fitness. So that is, but that's in the evening. So that, I guess I gotta put a boundary on myself, like,
Yeah.
um, to not say I'm not going to go because it's like close to 9 o'clock in the evening that I go. So just reminding myself why I want to do this. And then by the end of it, I'm always like happy that I went, even though
Mhm.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. But by the end of it, I'm like, okay, this is why I signed up in the beginning, because I
Yeah.
knew at the end I would feel happy about going. My strength is getting up there, my skill is getting up there. So putting boundaries on like myself and making sure I'm reminding myself why I'm doing something.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
even for your routine, right? Like if you know you have a job to do or just your daily routine, whatever those extracurricular things are
Yeah.
that you do outside of just making sure you meet your basic needs, like you do sacrifice or put boundaries on those things.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then
Yeah.
the last question that we were thinking that you ask yourself when you are defining and prioritizing is what's actually realistic and sustainable? Because I want to go back to my hot air balloon driver, right? Let's say you want to pursue this goal of being a hot air balloon driver, but the hot air balloon school is 2 hours away from your house and they have class every day. That is not really sustainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep going there every day. So then you need to redefine and reprioritize some things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely like spending some time in the drawing board stage. Like,
Yeah.
what do I want to be? What are the things that I need to do to get there? And Lauren and I both have very concrete videos on both of our pages about how to really draw up plans.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go and explore those, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I know I feel like we tend, as humans, if it's hard or if it seems like impossible, which that does not seem realistic, that what you said, doing the hot air balloon, that doesn't seem realistic. But there are other moments where people will give up before they even try to do something. And it's not that it's not realistic, it's that you don't you don't have that belief in yourself that you can actually go out and achieve it. So also being mindful of that when you're thinking of what's realistic and what's sustainable. Is it not realistic, or is it that you see that it's hard, and because it's hard you don't want to go through whatever those trials will be, when you're trying to like define who you are and who that girl is going to be, because it's not going to be an easy process when you are, trying to define and prioritize what's important for you.
Mm-hmm.
But once you go through it and realize like I can do it, I can achieve this part of my life that I want to achieve, then you realize like that you can do it. It's important to you, so you're going to continue
Mm-hmm.
showing up for yourself.
I like that you added that. I want to like acknowledge that as like a thread.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say we sewing a piece of clothing together. Like, that's a good thread that just goes through everything. Like, it will be hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and nothing is hard, even the easiest thing. Like, for instance, like even doing research on things, that's hard.
Yes.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's hard. There's so much information out there. You have to sit down and read it. You have to figure out like what's real, what's fake, what applies to you or not. What everything is hard. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something we definitely want to. How do I fix these banners? Haha, I got it. Okay. So now, you want to add anything else to point number one, Lauren, about define and prioritize, or we're ready to move on to point number two? Because I think it leads really well with what you were just talking about.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. So the second thing is trial and error and becoming that girl. And
Mm-hmm.
I know we're saying the term that girl. Sometimes I like to refer to it as like your favorite version of yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever that next part of your life is that you want to pursue. But trial and error is a thing. I have a quick story about trial and error because people that don't try trigger me so much. I I don't think you understand, Lauren. I get so triggered.
Oh my goodness.
Something in me that wants to grab somebody when they don't try. I'm like, just did you try? So
Mm-hmm.
It's a dance class the other night, a new dance class. And a part of the dance class was like doing a freestyle in front of everybody. And I am a totally not a good freestyler at all. I'm afraid of it. This is my first time in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people who were opting out of doing it. They said they just don't want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
We had to walk across the floor. The same people said they didn't want to walk across the floor. They gave up. And I was
Mm.
like, why did you come here?
Yeah.
Why did you come here
Pay
if you
money.
try it? You wasted money. So it was just like, even if you did look stupid, because everyone's gonna look stupid their first time doing something. Everyone is going to fail at the first time in doing something. Even if you did look stupid, you didn't even give your chance to collect data and
Mm-hmm.
do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's just somehow people not trying. It just really grinds my gears.
I'm telling you, it's because it's hard. They, we, like, as humans, we, if it's hard, we don't want to do it. Like, it has to be easy. We have to be able to achieve it. But that's, it's just not how, life is going to go.
Yeah.
Um, there's so many things that you have to, like you say, you have to try it out. Like, I wouldn't have known that I enjoy solo traveling had I not tried it out. And solo traveling is very hard example because it's very it's scary. I know people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so scary." But how would I have known that I enjoyed traveling solo if I would have never like taken that leap? Um so yeah, you have to be willing to fail, but failure is not a bad thing. Failure is when you learn, um, you learn from that failure. You learn what to do next time and what not to do. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Trial and error. You have to. So even if it's like you want to try new routine, for instance, there have been so many seasons or like months I've tried new routines. I'm like, okay, I want to try to switch up the order of things, or I want to try to do this. And sometimes it works and it sticks. And
mhm,
sometimes I just can't stick to it because it doesn't work. But it's just something, it's just collect data. Like you cannot make an informed decision about how you want to live your life
yeah.
unless you collect data.
Hmm.
Um, things
Yeah.
you like, things you dislike.
Hmm. Yeah, because I've said this on my channel a lot of times, but you are the only one that's living your life
Hmm.
and you only have one life. There's no do-over. Like I can't go back and do 30 over. Like it's it's done. So my I owe it to myself, my present self and my future self
Hmm.
and my younger self also to like where was I going with this? I owe it to myself to just like um to like live this life that I want to live and not get caught up on something that's hard, get caught up on like just the failure of it all, but like learning how to adapt to everything that's going on.
Yeah. Um, when you were talking about your different selves, I think that as we get older, I'm trying to get braver as I get older, but I think it's so easy to like
It's,
fall into your old habits, like kind of like just kind of lay low,
it is.
get
Yep.
older. Like this is just who I am. This is what I
Yes.
do, you
Yes.
know, and kind
It's
of playing the same role you always play.
hmm it's hard to break up what you've been doing your whole life.
With your passive.
Is that a song?
Yeah. Break up with your girlfriend because I'm bored.
Oh, oh, okay.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's true. Like it's hard once you get to a certain age. It's like, well, this is just how I am.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
the excuse.
never
This is
want to get there. I never want to get to this is just who I am.
Mhm,
You know what? Some parts of myself, I'm gonna be okay with saying this is who I am.
mhm. Yeah,
Some parts, but I
yeah.
never want to be. I never want to be afraid. Yeah, I never want to be afraid to try something new, or
Hmm.
a new style, or like I just don't want to always say, "This is what I've been doing. This is who I
Yeah.
am."
Yeah, and it's also like you're never too old to want to change either. Like it's not part of the trial and error is like you don't have to start this. We're in our 30s. We don't have to start this. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
somebody didn't have to start in their 30s. They can start when they're 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Like it's never too late. As long as you are living and breathing and
Mm-hmm.
capable, it is never too late to make those changes to figure out how you want to become that better version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. One of
Yeah.
my favorite shows. Well, I love reality TV,
Mhm.
but Real Housewives, all of the franchises,
Mhm.
absolutely love them
Okay.
because they're all older women and they
Mhm.
are all doing things like none of them are like this is just who I am. They
Mhm.
are dating new men. They are divorcing their husbands and from years they're starting new businesses. Like
Yeah.
I just really love to see all of them do all those different things because we don't if you take away everything else they do, which is still it's still pretty cool that you want to fight people at that age, you know, that you still somebody still just grinds your gears at that age. You like, you know what? I'm about to start some drama. And I love that. I love that. I'm trying to start some drama up until forever.
Okay. But yes, no, that's true. Um, Still making changes, still doing the thing.
Yeah.
Um, so we had creating habits, systems, and mindset shifts.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like mindset shift is like one of the hardest things for people to get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were saying, this is just how I am. That's where you need to start when it comes to shifting your mindset. Like, why is this how you are? Like, how can we start to change that? How can we start to adapt something different?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when you're becoming that version of this better self, when you're becoming that girl, like, what are some mindset shifts that you want to start adapting? Um, what are some new habits that you want to start adapting? Like, what helps me is
Mm-hmm.
um, positive affirmations, like pouring into myself first and foremost and not waiting on anyone else to do it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, but like positive affirmations, like speaking life into myself. That helps me to kind of shift my mindset because it's easy to just fall back into the old patterns and behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to work overtime to not revert back to that.
I'd love to hear. You don't need to talk about it now. This could probably be a future video or another live, like how you shift, because I feel like it was a big mindset shift for you to take a huge solo trip to Mexico by yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about what are the steps that you took to like mentally prepare yourself to do that
Yeah.
because that's that's a lot. But
Yeah. Maybe that could be another live.
okay. Because I think we talk about mindset shifts, and that's such an abstract concept. When people hear just change your mindset, like it's not really that easy.
It takes work.
Yeah, it takes work. So I'm curious about like the actual thing. So we have the power of positive self-talk, which
Yeah.
is so important. I
Hmm.
saw this. Have you seen that study before? It's like someone was like they talked nice to one plant and then they talk negatively to another plant. And the plant that they talk positively to like really flourished, and the plant that they talk negatively to never grew.
What?
Mhm.
Wow. I never even heard of that.
Yeah, so if plants need good words, we need good words.
Exactly. It's like you're from childhood. Like you need that,
Hmm.
you know. Wow.
Yeah,
I gotta look that
it's true. It's true. Okay.
up. Okay,
Oh,
so we
I
got a
think
plan.
you need to talk positively to your plants and yourself.
Yes,
Um,
you are your plant. Like you're that water. You're watering yourself. You're watering the soil so you can like grow and blossom to this beautiful
yeah,
plant and
yeah.
flower.
I
Yes.
think another thing I wanted to add to trial and error before we go is like not falling into a lot of trends and cycles on TikTok. There's always a new trend about like this is what the girls are doing now, or you should be doing this if you want to show up this way. And I love a good advice video. We're here right now talking about how to be that girl, but I think
We are.
we're talking about more sustainable, like long-term things, like not just making a quick change to achieve a certain goal.
Mhm.
More so, how are you going to build this definition of who you want to be for yourself? Thinking about your past experiences, deciding what you want to prioritize is very self-rooted. It's definitely
Mhm.
not what everyone else is doing, therefore I'm going to do it. We
Mhm.
haven't said that yet, and we aren't going to say it at all ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trends are trends for a reason.
Hmm.
They don't stick around for long. I try not to buy into the trends because it just it's like it's a quick fix. It's a band-aid to the solution. It's not long term. Um,
Hmm.
and then you're gonna be upset at yourself when it doesn't work out for you because
Yeah.
you weren't even thinking about this, but then somebody else is doing it, so you're like, oh, maybe I should try that too. No, don't unless it aligns with what you are, unless it aligns with what you're already doing. Um, other than that, just yeah, try to stay clear of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Let's move on to our last part.
yeah.
So, becoming that girl, number one, as a recap, one was to define and prioritize what being that girl means to you, define it, then prioritize the things that you want to do to achieve that. Number two is trial and error. So, don't be afraid to try new things, try new mindsets, try new practices. This just came to mind. We didn't even mention this, but even if you were raised to think a certain way, it's
Mhm.
okay for you to step away from that, right? You should develop your own mindset based on the experiences that you've had in your
Mhm.
life. And then the last part is acknowledge that it is ongoing. We
Yeah.
are constantly evolving. The version of yourself that was here last year is not here, right? Because there may
Mhm.
not be major changes, but you've had experiences that still alter your brain chemistry. They alter how you perceive the world.
Mhm.
And that will continue going on for you, hopefully. You just heard me talking about Real Housewives. They're constantly evolving, they are always changing into new versions of themselves.
They are.
How many lines has Sheree released?
Spring, summer, fall.
Sheree don't play, right? She's always gonna have a new version of herself. They are evolving. It's an ongoing process. So
Yes, yes.
I
That's
love
the E in baddie, evolving.
evolving. Exactly.
Evolving. Yes. Yeah, and don't be hard on yourself because trial and error, learning your likes and dislikes, like
Mhm.
it all goes into being that version of yourself that you're striving to be. And then when you get to that version, you're still going to continue evolving and being like, this person that you want to be, because as we get older, as we learn new things, as we learn ourselves, we're constantly going to become different versions of ourselves. And that's, I mean, if you're going on a positive trajectory, that's not a bad thing. that's that's not a bad thing. But yeah, so just remember that when you're on this mission to be that girl, be this version of yourself that you can be proud of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason for you to be so hard on yourself unless you are a professional sports player and there's money on the line. This this is just life. All of us have never lived the
Hmm.
moment we're about to live. Like, it's
Yeah,
all new. So just don't be
right.
so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
This Everyone's just a girl or just a boy figuring it out. Um, and
And
then so,
oh, go
so
ahead. No, I was gonna say, and even if you are, like you said, none of us have ever lived this life. Even if you are older, you have never lived this life. You're still adults are still figuring it out. Like we
mhm,
don't know everything, and we are younger adults.
yeah,
So imagine older adults. People
yeah.
are still figuring it out. So it's okay.
And I think that is there's this pressure you feel like because you're an adult, you have to have it all figured out. No,
Mm-mm,
mm-mm.
no.
And I think that's the quickest way for you to stop growing.
Mm,
To assume that you already have it all figured out. This is
mm,
it.
Yeah.
That is the quickest way for you to stop growing, because someone who's always learning, someone who knows that they don't know everything,
Mm-hmm.
they are always evolving.
Right.
So cheers to being forever learners. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be forever learners. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll add also like being okay with outgrowing the past version of yourself. So you talked about all the different versions of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could feel like you're being a traitor to yourself if you don't like the things you used to like, or do the same things that you used to do, or maybe even hang out with the same people that you used to.
Yeah.
That's all a part of the evolution process of you becoming your favorite version of yourself, that girl,
Yeah.
and doing what you do with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Growing, evolving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Lauren and I have really talked a lot about becoming that girl. We are curious if you guys have any questions for us or any comments. Like, what'd you think about anything that we talked about? And then we'll wrap it up. And for those of you who are watching the playback, let us know too.
Yes, yes. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe to Hey Quenisha, and then you follow me over on I am Lauren J. Forbes.
Mhm.
These are our TikTok. No, you're not on TikTok. YouTube, Instagram.
Oh, this is, I think this is, don't make me open TikTok. This is,
Okay.
it's the same across for me.
Yeah, it's the same. I think for TikTok, mine just doesn't have Forbes, but either way. Yeah, well, if you guys are watching, if you're tuned in, thank you for watching. It was really nice. This was our first time going live. Maybe we'll have some more in the future. If you're watching the playback, thank you for watching as well. We really appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully we have some more.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So we will see you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.